having Tito is probably one of the biggest butterfly effects, and I'm going to get into that. And having him here was just so special. And we're just going to celebrate him tonight, like I said in the chat. Sing, dance, celebrate, cry, whatever you got to do, whatever you need to do, um, to let those emotions through and just to celebrate him. And I'm so glad to see y'all here. I wanted this to be a safe space tonight for anyone who needs it, because losing Tito was not something that I anticipated for this year at all. At all. I don't think any of us were expecting it. But I wanted to get into a little bit of information about Tito, and just kind of start from the beginning. So, Tito Jackson, also known as government name Toriano Adaryll Jackson, was born October 15th in 1953, and he is the third child born into the Jackson family. I'm going to read some pieces from some biographies about him, some information and stuff. But let's start from the jump. Often given credit for the start of the Jackson 5, Tito says he inherited his talent from his father. 8-year-old Tito had been playing it daily. He asked Tito to play the guitar for him and was impressed by his talents, as well as the vocals of his sons, Jackie and Jermaine. Joseph began to envision a singing group for his son, and by 1967, the lineup became known as the Jackson 5. Tito and his brothers had signed with Epic Records and officially came under a new name as the Jacksons in 1976. Beginning in 1978, he co-wrote the songs Destiny, Push Me Away, and then, of course, Everybody for the Triumph album. For his new record label, and that would be Peacock Productions. As the group The Jacksons, including Tito, they self-produced the Destiny album. Later for the Victory album, Tito produced and wrote and sang We Can Change the World. And that song is definitely on this playlist tonight, so we'll be hearing that one. Father of three men, Taj, Terrell, and TJ, known to the music world as 3T, Tito worked closely with his sons. This is consistent with the fine direction that he received from his loving mother, Catherine, and his caring father, Joe. In addition to working with his sisters, Janet, Rebe, and Latoya, Tito has worked with countless fine musicians, singers, and producers, such as the preeminent production team of Gamble and Huff, L.A. Reid and Babyface, and the versatile Howard Hewitt. In 1997, Tito and his brothers were ceremonially honored as inductees of the well-respected Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And if I remember correctly, I do remember reading somewhere that was one of the proudest moments he remembers. I don't think people realize, especially the general public, I don't think people realize just how huge his impact was. I don't think they gave him this, I don't think they offered him, the grace to pay attention to him. And I feel like I just wish more people would have while we had him, because now the world is finally seeing dang, he did do a lot. To be 8 years old and you kicked off one of the greatest chain reactions in history, all because of his tenacity and his desire to learn guitar. Another one of his biggest accomplishments was the fact that he is also the reason why the Jacksons are the first, and I believe the first and only family to have every single one of the siblings chart, to have some song or album chart as solo artists. So every one of those Jackson siblings have done solo work, and they have all made it onto the charts somewhere, somehow. When he finally decided that it was his time to go solo and release the Tito Time album, he released the single Get It Baby, and that song charted. Once again, another history making feat right there. Thank you, Tito. He did so much, and I'm just so grateful that I took the time to just sit down and research the Jacksons, because I started out this whole thing as a Michael Jackson fan. And then somewhere along the line, I remember I want to say late elementary school, middle school, I really started getting into the Jacksons. That's the foundation. That's what started it all. That's the foundation for all of them. I started getting into the music. I started, learning who was the family, what they all did, who were the next generations and stuff. And the more you listen to those songs and you listen to it, you grow an ear to hear, okay, who's singing this part? Who's that one? Like, Michael has a distinct voice, but I feel like oftentimes people don't pay attention what's going on in the background. People should really sit down and listen to what's going on in the music, the background, the guitar parts, the background vocals. Like you'll hear like throughout, the Jackson 5's music, the Jackson's music, a bass vocals, and that's from Tito. He did that. I think a lot of people don't think that he sung. They just thought he was there to play the guitar and dance, but he did. He sung. He did a lot. And if any of y'all are maybe just becoming fans, or you quite haven't gotten able to get into the Jackson family's music yet, I encourage all y'all to do so. You will discover a whole new world. A whole new world. One of my favorite things was just to sit there and like listen and pick out, okay, well, who's doing this part? Who's that? Is that Jackie? Like who's singing this? Is that Tito? Like, and you're like, oh wow, like there were songs that I used to listen to when I was younger. And then recently I'm listening, I'm like, wow, I didn't realize that was so and so singing that part. But like the biography said, he had a hand in so many things with music. With 3T, he wrote and produced songs with his siblings, for his siblings. He was featured on songs. He was a part of different collaborations and stuff. So there's a lot he did. Even though he didn't release his first solo album until, was it 2016? There was a lot that he did throughout those years.
Whew. Hi, everyone. Good evening.
Good evening.
It's been 3 weeks and 3 days since we've been here in YouTube world. That's when Tori and I found out, unfortunately, live about this information.
Mm-hmm.
And I honestly, I needed a timeout. And I'm glad that my partner was understanding of that. Like, for those who are not new to my channel, then you may not be aware of my own personal connections with grief, specifically with losing two parents, and being part of the Jackson family community, and actually being familiar with the actual Jacksons, specifically Tito's sons. You guys know Miss 3T. And just meeting Tito and being part, like something about the Jacksons, you feel like they're part of your family because of that music, the soundtrack of your life. And to have lost a second member from the original Jackson 5, still relatively for a young age, especially for Jackson, was beyond shocking.
Yeah.
So I thank you, Tori, for doing that station head. I've learned I learned a lot just from talking to people like you and MJ Fangirl, of course, your own research, but you have such a passion for sharing history that I was just like, I have to enhance your station head. Like that, oh, by the way, came from Tori's station head from for Tito Jackson. We'll get more into Tori and the other DJs that kept his music playing in the darkest week. That was a dark week, by the way. Like no one saw this coming at all.
I would never want to relive something like that. Never.
Yeah. It's so crazy. Like some people don't understand what a sudden death is. So I'll explain it. Sometimes someone is sick and that sick person has an opportunity for a bucket list and have time to warn you, and then you get to choose what you want to do with that information. A sudden death would be something like Tito Jackson, a heart attack, a car crash, things like that. Something that no one saw coming. And Tori and I definitely was trying to see the Jackson several times this year. It just wasn't in our favor. But
Yeah, that. Oh my gosh, that's got to be one of my biggest regrets. But it was like it just wasn't possible. We were like stretching ourselves thin to try and make it happen, and then when they first started getting back on stage, um, I was a youngin. I was still in elementary school. Like when they came back with the Unity tour and stuff, I was a fetus still. So you think my mom would have been like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna take you to go see the Jacksons"? No. And so I'm just mad at those circumstances.
Yeah.
Like yeah,
I will say this. I have very unique stories with each brother. Tito was that uncle in my head that would show up to all the barbecues, and Tori and I have shared several times. You know, he was very active in his last 2, 3 years of life. You know, he showed up at schools, he showed up at just random places, he showed up at Havenhurst. One time he showed up in New York to promote his Tito time. And it was just like, I'm begging y'all from the bottom of my heart, if the Jacksons come in your area, I'm not asking you to fly and spend your savings. I'm saying if they are in your area, whether it's a first gen or second gen, show up and support. They're
yeah,
very humble, loving, giving people. Of course, they're not perfect, they're humans, but in the world of celebrityhood, they're very different. They're very grounded. I know Prince wanted to have Tito do the barbecue at Havenhurst in the future, and
yes.
unfortunately,
I
that's.
was looking forward to that.
I know I had a plan in my head to show up at Havenhurst with some plant-based burgers and be like, Papa T, can I put this on the grill?
I bet you would have said yeah.
And then Papa T has this energy. He's not very playful, but sometimes I can get him to smile. I could just see him now, like, I'm not cleaning that grill for your plant-based burger. I could just see it, hear it in his head. Like, because everybody in my family, they're like, we're not going to clean that grill for your burger. But I'm grateful for what Tito has done for us. Like I said, he was very active. And anytime I got a chance, like Thriller Night, we didn't see that coming. He popped up not one, but 2 nights.
Man, y'all was so lucky.
And, but you know what's crazy? I left him alone, regretting that now. I talked to him though. I said, "Oh,
Mhm.
Papa T, I know that's you, but I'm gonna leave you alone."
What
And
do you
then
say?
he just went. He didn't say anything. And then, like, there was one part he was hovering over us at I believe it was Michael's bedroom. He's just looking down, and of course, I'm going to share all the footage that I have. It's not a lot, but it still, made me smile. Like, me and Tori was watching something the other day, and I'm like, wait a minute, there's Tito. Not even realizing he was in a vlog of mine. I was like, he's right there. And we mean it from the bottom of our hearts. To Mrs. Catherine Jackson, I'm sorry that you have to say goodbye to a third child.
Yeah.
To Taj Terrell and TJ, I'm sorry. Like, I said it when I found out, like, the fact that you lost your mom suddenly and now your dad.
And Michael, they were
Yeah,
real close to him. So they lost Joe.
yeah. Uh, Austin Brown's father, Nathaniel
Yeah.
Brown. This family's been through a lot, and I think the members of 3T have gone through more than most. I don't have access to them, like, oh, let me call them. But what I can say from how they present themselves on social media and how candid they are is, give them grace, which
Yep.
means, don't bother them. Don't bother them at all. Let them. This is family business. Even though we're extended family, this is DNA family business. Don't bring crap to them. don't bring silliness to them. Uh,
Yeah.
you know, you don't have to have lost a parent to understand that is one of the worst things you could have lost. So, especially Tito looked like he was on fire. He was working on a documentary or the reality series. Um,
That Jackson's album.
the Jackson's documentary, correct?
Yeah, there was a documentary, there was an album, they were touring. He was doing his own reality show. And he was doing the stuff for Tulsa. He had just did spoke at one of the Juneteenth celebrations. There's I think it's called Claremore, Oklahoma, near Tulsa. There's a museum there, and they had a set up like a area to honor the Jackson Five, and he visited there. He had bought a ranch out there. He was supposed to have like a music festival. I think it was called Tito Jackson's Tunes and Spoons. It's supposed to be music and food, two of his most favorite things. He was supposed to have a restaurant. Um, I heard it will still be honored. That will still come together.
Mm.
So I will be definitely on the lookout for that. And it's just sad because you think like I thought I had a chance, like, oh, Tito, he's a few hours away from me now. Like I definitely feel like he'll do something for, with Tulsa. He's gearing up down there, and man.
Yeah, no. And I just like I even think about his siblings, specifically the ones that tour with him, like how broken
Mm-hmm.
that they might be feeling like um what I've learned in grief and how it affects people is the closer you are to someone, the harder that to not have that part of your ecosystem is. And I'm like, it's always Marlon, Jackie, and Tito. And it
Yeah,
always
yeah,
looks like they're clowning each other. And it's just like, I just feel for the entire family, but I feel like extra sorry for his mom, his children, and the siblings, specifically like the ones that are always with him.
yeah,
Even like close friends and close, family members that I'm just not aware of because I'm not privileged to know that. This is a huge loss. It's our biggest loss since Michael. And I think for me, I think I just needed a timeout because it was just like literally my first thought was Taj, Taro, and TJ. Like my first thought.
yeah,
And TJ was, you could just tell TJ's had a breakthrough with the music, and Taro was out there doing his music, and he's on tour with his dad. And, Taj is working on a documentary and just working with, BG and stuff with their projects and things. And this comes out of nowhere. And by the way, the members of 3T, the majority are still in their 40s. I just want you to know that's extremely unnatural to have both your parents gone by now.
yeah.
Like extremely, that's not common. So that's why I just like, I've said it before, but I'll say it again. I personally thank TJ and Taj for the DD Jackson Foundation. It helped me get through my grief with my mom. And unfortunately, my mom passed away. Now it'll be 5 years in a month. And I thought I would never get through this. And I'm hoping that there's something or someone that brings the healing that you have brought to so many people, and how you honored your mother's death by bringing in that foundation. And I hope that you honor your father's death by being the greatest version that you can ever be. You're already there. Just keep going. Don't let this break you, lean on each other. Um, sometimes it's tough having siblings in these situations because you may not see eye to eye, but you'll see pieces of your mother and your father within each other. Like, for crying out loud, you have pieces of his face. like
Literally.
literally. And TJ, like your little son looks so much like Tito. So it's just like, take all the time you need to heal. Like TJ's been so gracious to talk to us through the
Mhm.
memberships. And I'm like, I wasn't expecting to hear anything at all. And I'm like,
Wow.
wow, you didn't have to. Like, just take care of yourself. And we're going to keep supporting you the best way that we can. Like so much love for the family and specifically 3T. Like you could tell like their uncles and fathers has taught them how to be kind to the fans that are kind to them.
Yeah.
And I appreciate them for that.
I'll say when you think of legacy, like this legacy thing, I've been thinking more in depth about it in the past year. And when you think about it, you think of like, oh, they left behind music or the artistry or like their creation, like creative things and stuff. But when you really think about it, an extension of that is also their kids and how they poured into their kids and stuff. So, Tito put aside his solo career to help cultivate 3T, and him and Dee Dee instilled some amazing qualities in those three boys, and they've even passed it on to their own kids. So there is Tito and Dee Dee are still going on. Not them, they may not be here physically, but I can still tell. Like I remember it was like a live or something, and I had told little Dee Dee about something like that, or I commented something to her, and then TJ read it off to her, and he said, "Say thank you, Dee Dee." Like he was making sure she said thank you. So they teach him manners, and even Taj, his little daughters and like the toddlers and everything, he made sure they speak. And I'm like, that's Tito, that's Tito, that's Dee Dee. Like they are some amazing people, and you know, just for as much as they went through, for as much that has had to be put on them and they didn't ask for it, there are some kind people. So I'm gonna second this with Trish. Give them grace. And if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say it. Because they're still giving themselves to us while they have their own families, they have wives, you know, they're still giving themselves to us. They don't have to do it. They don't even have to be online right now. They could take a break, take a step back, but they're still online. They're still, posting. Like she said, TJ is still talking with us and trying to stay positive and stuff. So my heart just goes out to those boys, to Tito's grandkids, to the entire Jackson family, because this is also one of those things where they've kind of had to mourn with, the media out there, the public out there. They had to deal with it with Michael and now Tito. And I will say, for the most part, thankfully, I have seen some positive things. I think it was a shock to the whole world losing Tito. And it sucks that it took this for people to finally realize how much he contributed to the world. So,
You know what I found really unique about Tito? Tito was that one who could pretty much do it all.
yes.
And if you've ever met him or encountered him, he's so humble.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's just very, very grounded, very down to earth. I think that's why we got these, pop-ups of Tito Jackson here and there. I remember when he came to New York to promote Tito Time, they had him outside of like this little chair, like literally by the subway. If that was any other celebrity, I think all hell would have broke loose. Like, but he sat there, and then the fans came up to him. He spoke to us. He took pictures with us.
Wow.
I mean, there's so many times. I don't even know if I still have the footage. The Jackson shows would be over. The paid meet and greets would be over. And they would still come and take pictures by the fans by the gates because they know not everybody could afford that.
Wow.
and kind. Just as long as everybody stays calm, as long as everybody stays calm, we're going to be good. You know what I'm saying? And if they say no to something, like no autographs, nothing, respect it. Don't be that one like, oh, da-da-da. No. It's, if they're saying no, there's a reason. But I still think that's so cool that they know people can't afford those meet and greets. You know what? We'll meet you guys. So it's like I've witnessed so many things throughout the years. And for me, Tito, I'll share some of the quirky stuff too in a future live, not this one, but Tito's an amazing guy. Like, and you know when you're good with him, and you know when you're not. And I just love him about it. He's just amazing. Like, I can say so many good things about all the brothers individually, and I'm just sad that we have to say goodbye to him. Like, especially when he was laser focused. Like, he was like, if he wasn't with the brothers, he was working with his son or music, or he would promote their music when it would come out. It was just, he's going to be missed, He was one of the few on social media. I'd be like, all right, go ahead, post Papa T. Like,
yeah. So. He be doing it all. Cooking, grilling, fishing, coaching baseball.
Yeah. Coach Tito.
Coach Tito.
But at the same time, he's a legend. Like, and like, even just going through all the footage, and you know what, it did break my heart. I don't know if it's because of YouTube doing this or just you guys have effed up, but I would like to know why there isn't a lot of Jackson 5 footage on YouTube.
I would love to see remastered Jackson 5 concerts, like the full thing. I'm sure there's footage or something out there. Like, especially now all we have of Tito is videos. With the videos, we have the music and the pictures. So we're trying to savor that as much as possible. And if there's more out there, I would love to see more.
It definitely wasn't a lot. It definitely, and of course, people have markers and some of that stuff, as they should. If it's not, if it's your footage, it's your footage. Mm-hmm. But I was just like, for such a legendary group, 9 siblings, all charted.
Mm-hmm.
Why is this stuff not archived better? Even just finding pictures of them as kids, very, very difficult. And I remember I purchased that Jackson book just to see if I can find some stuff there, not for what I needed. So I was just like, interesting. And this is why Tori and I do this channel, because we've always known the Jacksons have not been highlighted properly at all. At all.
Especially the ones that weren't like, like the super famous ones. The ones like, Tito, Marlon, Jackie, Reby, Latoya, like I'm not saying you have to like every single song from the siblings, or maybe you like one sibling style over the others, but they each have something special about them. They each have something unique about them that's not like the other. They have different genres. Like Tito was getting into country. He was getting into country, R&B, soul, blues. I'm trying to think. Is there any? I can't think of the other one, but he was getting into all that. Plus, he had the different genres, with the Jacksons, the Jackson 5. So, I mean, check out the family. Try and see if you like any of their music.
Like, we do the station heads for a reason. So I'm the only one who's not syndicated, because I personally want a Jackson family syndicated station. I'm hoping that station head allows that, because it's like you have to kind of pick one. And I'm like, I don't want to pick one. I want the whole family. But, every time like the family comes out with a single, I try to do like a station head either that Friday or Monday. And I remember I did one for Tito. But you kind of put me to shame. So we need to get to this part right here, because I never, Tori, I would love to be in your mind. And I mean that in a good way. I would love to know, how did you get so laser focused with this? Like, because you're on point. So we had an outpouring on Station Head, and I remember, so we found out on the 15th, and unfortunately, kind of in real time. And I was just getting back on track with my health, right? Because there's an entry level red flag, and I said, okay, don't give up. Because usually, like, anytime I get focused, like, something bad happens, and I'm learned just in the last 3 years that there's always going to be something. You just got to push through it, to be honest. So with that being said, I went to do yoga, like, downtown, and I had my Tito Jackson sweatshirt on, and I believe Jess was the first DJ that I caught doing the tribute to Tito. And I remember, like, I'm just playing, the Tito's music and the Jackson family music, and it was just so beautiful that everyone came together. And we did this for like minimum 2 weeks. So Jam Fam, if you guys are not familiar, is a syndicated Janet Jackson station, and she was incorporating Tito's music, especially for the first 2 weeks. You'll still hear her play his stuff though. Then we had Straight Into Morning. They were playing Tito. Well, it was actually Straight Into Morning, which is Ray, and I Am Jen Jackson, which is Jennifer. They were playing 24 hours, Michael and Tito. And it was just so great to see us all get together for this. And then Tori did a Tori.
What's that supposed to mean?
You're one of those people, like, I'm surprised you're so in depth with what you do. You would think you were being paid, because I was just like, I wish I could have caught it all on, because I didn't realize that you weren't able to save it. And we're actually going to play a little bit more of what she said. But actually, let's play your clip now, and then we'll get back into your genius playlist. I thought I was like DJ, like, yeah, I got your back, Tito. No, Troy like blew it out the water, but we'll get back into that in a second. So we're just going to play like another minute or two from her Station Head. There won't be visual aids for this part. Heads up. Because y'all need to archive the Jacksons better, but hopefully we can get this fixed. Because I was like, where are their pictures? Where's this? Where's the video? All right, here we go.
If you live in the US, I think you could understand this. Like, a lot of people are just so caught up in this country, this aspect alone, not paying attention to the outside. There's a whole outside world there. There's a world outside. There's different songs all over the world. Like, even when it comes to charts, we're so caught up in like, oh, who's the popular singer in the US and stuff. Meanwhile, like places like the UK, they had different singers that were topping the charts over there. And the Jacksons were able to reach that. They were able to appreciate that. We were just talking about how Tito was just such a versatile artist, in that he was tapping into different genres and different sounds, and he was able to master those, and it was just amazing what he did. He really reached the world. He really did. I wish I could play Love One Another. I wish I could, but it's not on streaming platform. Maybe I could play it through the speaker or something at some point. They did so much for the world. He did so much. Like, it's just rough. Like, I never would have thought that's how Sunday would go. Tito, one thing about him, about the whole family, is that they wanted to unite the world. And they said they wanted to do that with music. In honor of Tito and his desire to help bring change into the world, I want to play some songs that reflect change, songs that he was on, songs, that he inspired or collaborated on. So, first things up is Can You Feel It?
All right. So, if you put in Thank You Tito at Spotify, you're going to get a playlist that's almost 5 hours long. When I said Tori put the barbecue sauce on a Tito grill Product. Like, you put so much love into this playlist, and honestly, there were so many things I wasn't aware of. I was like, wait, what's this? And I thought I did my homework for mine, keeping this real with you. So I would highly recommend going over to Spotify. If you put "Thank You, Tito Jackson," it comes up immediately. I found it like this. But do you want to get into like how you broke it down? Because it was broken down to some of his favorite artists. You broke it down to like, it was just collaborations, things. I was like, wait, what is this? I was here for it. So break it down.
First off, I wanted to do something. I felt like there needed to be some sort of gathering or something, and they were doing station head parties and stuff, and someone told me that we should do like a station head for him, like kind of like a memorial, playing his music and stuff. And so I was like, okay, I can try and put something together. And shout out to AJ, because she came up with the hashtag "Thank You, Tito Jackson," and she actually got that trending. Like, I woke up the next morning, it had thousands and thousands of tweets using hashtag "Thank You, Tito Jackson," and I was so happy to see that. So that's where the name came from. But getting into this, I was gonna do, write my notes and stuff, and kind of, just go through it formally. But I just was not in the headspace. So it was just a lot going on. It was very sad. It was a sad time. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna do my very best and just kind of let it flow and come together in the way that it should. So I started out with, I wanted to start out with the origins, like the beginning, or like more upbeat songs. And that's why I had "I Want You Back." I got "Get It Baby" on there, started from the beginning with Big Boy. And then I went on to a whole long list of collaborations with, of course, his solo songs mixed in there from Tito time. And he's done work with Rebbie, Latoya, Janet, Jermaine, all the brothers, of course, with the Jackson's music and stuff. He's wrote music for the sisters, done background vocals as well. And then there were other artists. I want to say there were blues artists, like there was like Kenny Neal on there. Of course, there was "Attitude" I put in there by Natalia Domini. And oh, it does pop up. That's cool.
Yeah, it came up quick. I was like, oh.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. And then, of course, I had to put "Just Smile." That was one of his collaborations with TJ. And it was nice that they actually were able to get on a track together. And the song, I felt, had that Motown sound. So I thought it was perfect that he included Tito on there. And then I went and I wanted to highlight some of his favorite songs. And a couple years ago, I had came across an article where they were asking him about different songs, like what song remind you of home and stuff. So let me see. I can actually read it off. So like the first song I remember hearing, and it says, "The Temptations, My Girl," and he said when back when they lived in Gary, they would play that song a lot, and he said it's one of the first songs he played and that they would sing. And then the first song he fell in love with was Jackie Wilson's "Lonely Teardrops." Um, the song that reminds me of home, "Baby Work Out." The song that he couldn't get out of his head, and at that moment, I think it was like 2021. It was "Leave the Door Open" by Silk Sonic, and he said that um, it felt like Jackson 5 or Jackson influence on there. Like he said, the harmonies and the melodies are almost like a Jackson song. So Tito knew his music, and that's another thing. Like you could tell that he wasn't just like stuck in the 70s. Like this goes for the whole family. They were constantly going forward with music. What's the next thing in music? What's going on right now? Like, they love the oldies, the throwbacks, all that. And they appreciated what was going on in the moment and like the future of music and stuff. Um, and then of course I had to pay tribute to the entire Jackson family with 2300 Jackson Street, because that's where it all started. 3T. Um, these were some of the I would say the tribute songs to Tito, and I'll Be There and Never Can Say Goodbye. And Terrell has two songs, My Life Without You and Proud and All My Love to You. And those were the first two were dedicated to Dee Dee, but unfortunately I feel like now it also relates to Tito. And now that he's gone, I'm sure he would want to make him proud, continue to make him proud as well. And then there was this song called Letter in the Sky, and they were featured on this Japanese artist song. And it's about the people that they lost. And it was just so weird because the first brother you hear on there is Tito, and he's singing about, losing someone or someone who's no longer there. And in that moment, I was just like, we just lost Tito, and he was just singing about this. Like, it was so weird. But that's a really good song. I suggest y'all listen to it. It's a really, really good song. But I did want to close it out with more happier songs, more socially conscious songs, because that's what he wanted. He said if there was a song that would be played at his funeral, he would want it to be Love One Another, because he wanted that message to continue to spread. So, yeah, there was a lot of socially conscious Jackson songs. He did We Can Change the World. That has a wonderful meaning. And I wanted to close it out, like I said, with happy songs. So far, so good. That's a really positive song. It's a really special
I love
song.
that song. So far,
Love it.
so good.
And I think, I'm not sure if all 3T was on there, but I could definitely hear Terrell. So it was another collaboration on there. And then We Made It. I felt like that was the Jackson family story. And there's a music video for it, and he shows pictures of the Jackson family, the Jackson 5. So I just kind of felt like that was like an autobiographical song about him. But yeah, just kind of in the best way I could, I wanted to show the different aspects of Tito. I wanted to show that he just wasn't one of the guitar players and that was it. He was more than that. He did vocals. He wrote, he produced. He was featured on other people's songs. He did spoken word on some songs. Like, he did everything. And he had range, because he could get down in bass, and then he had in his regular voice it would be like a tenor voice. So he had some range there too. So y'all give Tito some love and some credit. Credits due.
I love his voice. He has a very seductive voice. So I'd be like, whoa. He has a very, very deep voice. I was like, dang.
Not afraid.
Like, whoa. He had like the deepest voice out of all the brothers. So I was like, whoa. Oh man, I'm really gonna miss him, because he was like, that was always the thing. Like, is he gonna show up here? But I'd be honest, I never thought he was gonna show up at Thriller Night. He got us off guard. I said, oh snap. And I remember Red NYC, she said, oh boo, it's Tito Jackson. Like, she was so happy. And Red has actually met all the brothers. Most of us met the brothers when they came here in 2012 at the Apollo. That was such an honor to have seen them on stage. And that was the first time they came back,
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, now that I think about it, since 2001, correct?
Yeah.
So, shoot, I grabbed my tax return and I said, I'm getting this meet and greet. Like, I think it's like the best experience I ever had, like, at a concert. And that says a lot. That doesn't take away from anybody I've ever seen. It's just their interaction was on a whole different level. And then I'm so blessed. My mom was above me because I brought two seats. Long stories about why I had two seats. I gave her the second seat and she was right above me. And she just so happened to recorded these key moments with Tito and, Jermaine. And I was like, this is why I love my mama, because my mom have a good sense about this stuff. And, for the rest of my life, in my head, I'm going to remember it. But just the fact that, like, my mom had taped that for me, I was like, you rock, mama. Like, because what are the chances she caught every moment? Like, I'm Papa T, I'm just acting a fool.
She was, and her hair.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Jermaine was clowning me. It was a good memory though. And even though like I'm legitly sad, I don't know why it feels like family, but it does. It really does. Like I've been in a grief bubble. I've been talking to Tori and the girls from the sisterhood. And again, we have more stories to share for you for future lives, but the girls took it really hard. And, we all have Tito Jackson stories and it's a lot. And then it's just like, you could just tell he had such a clear vision for his life and what he was doing. And he did what he loved. He loved music. He loved his boys more. We're grieving over that. We're not going to have any more moments with him, but could you imagine if how we feel, like how the family feels? It's got to be like 100 times worse, so
uncle, dad, brother, son, grandfather.
Yeah. So like, but I thank you, Tori. Like, there's something about you, like you put so much love into what you do. I promise you, I was just, as I'm listening to the station head, I was just like, how the heck did this girl get a 4-hour playlist? Because one of Tito's albums is missing. No, leave it to you to be like, wait, he's here, he's here, he's here, he's here, he's here. I was like, what?
I promise y'all, he's there. All the years that he wasn't making albums and stuff, he was there. He was there, y'all. Whether he was a consultant, inspiration behind it, something, or helping with 3T, he was there.
Yeah.
But I gotta agree, it was like, I was like, I hope people are not trying to seem like I'm dramatic, but it did. I was
no.
It does feel like family. Like I grew up with their music. Like, and it was one of those things where it wasn't like, oh, like my mom or my dad was fans of the Jackson. It was something that I kind of like had to come into on my own. So that was like, it's always been my own thing in my household. I share a little bit with my brother, but it's always been my own thing. And it just felt like I lost a huge chunk of that. So
yeah.
And the way we found out, like, I'm glad I wasn't like by myself. It was really sad though. I'm glad I was with here on live with you and people in the chat who appreciate the family and stuff, because I couldn't even sleep that night.
Yeah.
I don't even know how I made it through work the next day. Like, it was rough going to work. And then I kind of like got on adrenaline. And then I was like, oh, I'm fine. It's okay. Then I came home and I was just like, I couldn't do it.
Yeah. I know for a while, a couple of us had trouble sleeping and we were talking to each other like at the weirdest time at night because we just weren't sleeping. And I remember the first night, because we were like, hopefully this is a mistake, because there was a Tito Jackson death hoax like a year or two ago.
Yeah.
And I said, well, maybe it's another one of those. And so we saw 3T page post first, and then it came down. But I said, my gut saying this was real. Maybe there was a typo. And then, of course, when I woke up in the morning, it was confirmed. And, the sisterhood wasn't doing it. Was just a mess. Everything was a mess. It's sad.
It was rough. Oh my gosh. I was like, I never want to have to deal with this because we 15 years later, we're still not over Michael.
Yeah.
Like, I'll get on TikTok and there's like casual listeners who be in the comments like, hold on, we still not over Michael, not Tito, not Tito. And I think to me it was kind of like everybody knew Tito. Like if there was like a reference to the Jackson Five, it wasn't Michael, it was Tito. It was always Tito, and I just saw a lot of love for him, especially like on TikTok and stuff, and people. This girl somehow broke down how if Tito had not broke the guitar string, we wouldn't have Rihanna's makeup line. I don't know how she did it, but it made sense.
I can't. I can't. I needed
You
that
do
laugh.
not have a lot of these artists, and I know it seemed like we dragging it, but
No, but I get it. It's everything is connected. Just like, even Michael passing away has formed a whole different community. Like, there were a lot of MJ fans when he was alive, but it has expanded to the family. And how do I know that? Because I would be at these Jackson family events and y'all will be there too.
mm-hmm.
It just, the way the media disrespected the brother, there's no other way to say that. They disrespected the brothers by elevating Michael so much and just not even letting their music or their projects even get the same love or notoriety at all. It was just this weird dynamic with Michael. Even when he was little, you could just tell they were trying to separate Michael out the gate from them.
Mm-hmm.
But there is no Michael Jackson without them. Yeah. And there is no them without Mike. It's all intertwined, in other words. Yeah. But if you ever look at any Jackson 5 or Jackson's performance, I dare you to look at them individually. They all deserve that respect equally. You never see someone, being half-ass about something. You saw Tito on that guitar like he was a soloist. And of course, like, you look at Randy, you look at Jermaine, you look at Marlon can go toe-to-toe with Michael with that dancing.
They was like in sync. I'm talking about background vocals and like the ooh, 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 all that stuff.
Yes.
One minute Michael was doing it, the next minute Marlon. They sometimes it's both doing it at the same time. Look, I love that family.
And I will give this. Michael's voice is very powerful. It projects. That's the best way to say it. It projects in a way like I've never seen a voice project like that. But it still never takes away from the amazing talent of Tito, Jermaine, Randy, Jackie, and Marlon. Like, we can't stress this enough. Learn the Jacksons' music. Learn the second gens. Like,
yes,
there's no cap. We are not on payroll. I promise you, I have a really crappy customer service job when this is over. I pay like everybody else. I attend like everybody else. I'll be cracking up. Them tax returns coming in handy. Like, of course, we work hard. We like everybody else. But I'm like, if I'm going to put in some money into some artists, it's going to be the Jacksons. I always felt like they deserved more. They just constantly get crapped on. Even like with Tito, I'll be honest, he deserves a bigger send-off. Yes, the media was kind to him, and I appreciate like people realize like what role he played, but I just felt like he could have got a nice send-off too publicly. Like, I don't know. I don't know if I'm the only one who felt that way. I was just like, I get it, but I don't know.
I think they sorry, I'm reading MJ Fangirl's comment.
Hey.
I think there should be. Yes, I agree, MJ Fangirl, because I just felt like everybody moved on too fast. Like, I'm not saying like, oh, you gotta sit there and be all depressed and
right.
nothing, but I just mean like I wanted it to be, and not just that I want, it should be like I feel like it would be right to do so. Like, When Michael passed, the world stopped. He got months. He got my whole summer and
Yeah.
more. I took that with me to elementary school. I know everybody was sick of me, but I took that with me, school, everything. And like, I feel like that same thing should be done for Tito. I feel like there should have been more. And, you know, thankfully, I did see like an outpouring from people. Some people, I didn't even expect to see them putting stuff out there. It was crazy. And I just came across a video today back in September. Nas had I think he closed out his show, and you know, he honored and gave tribute to Tito, and he had the crowd shout, you know, Tito's name out, and then he closed out his show with Can You Feel It? And that was just so nice to see, because I just don't want him to be forgotten at all.
I don't think he will be. And I think like, like people like you and just like even everybody in the chat, I think the fact that you guys are here like this late
Yeah.
and you care. I think we all understand like what has systematically has happened to the Jacksons and how their legacy has been tarnished and dismissed, and it's still being dismissed, to be honest. And
Yeah.
like hopefully collectively as a fandom, like MJ Fangirl did a beautiful tribute to Tito, and we'll definitely be highlighting that as this presentation goes. Um, People like us legitly care, like I can't put this in words. Like I always tell people, like someone asked me, goes, why do you do this? And I said, it's just instinct. Michael died and there was this outpouring, but the outpouring wasn't there before he died. It was only after he died. And then as I was learning about Michael, I discovered his brothers, because like my mom only had the greatest hits Jackson album and I think ABC. That's all we had. So that was my whole Jackson 5 thing. I don't even think we had Jackson stuff except for Victory. And then of course I had Michael. She brought me Michael and Janet when I was little. And then, of course, when he dies, that's when I discovered Marlon. And at the time, Tito didn't have a solo album, but the rest of them had solo albums at the time. And I was like, why aren't we talking about the rest of them? That's exactly, I was like, what happened? And then I just look at just how media picks their favorites and then like discards everyone else. And that just in general, like it's just how they are. Yeah. So I'm like, that's where we come in. That's where the station heads come in, that get the word out. If you know there's a project going on, support it. My life has been so different since Michael passed away. It's very rich and adventurous, and like you're right. Like we don't want people to stop their lives because Tito passed away. I'm sure like we're going to be mourning and we're going to be conscious of it. But what I've learned in my own journey of grief, you do need a timeout, but you also need to push through. Sometimes you need therapy, sometimes you need to lean on family, but push through because time is so unforgivingly fast. Like it's about to be Christmas soon, y'all, like for real. So time just goes quick, and thank God Tito was so proactive. We got 2 albums, we got collaborations. He leaves his own legacy too. And I remember recently TJ had mentioned like, we're all going to pass away, but our art can last forever. So like TJ says he likes to make the best version of whatever he creates because he knows that's going to last. And same thing with Tito, like Tito's physical body is no longer here, but his music is here. How he treated his fans, that's forever. How he made us feel like, I was telling Tori, I said, how do you honor a Jackson? Like when Michael died, I never had to go through this. I was just outside recording what was going on. This is the first time I've ever had to do this for a family member from the Jacksons. And I was just like, I'm just going to speak from my heart. I don't know them. I'm just familiar with them. I can have a couple of funny stories here and there, but
Yeah.
um, I would say we know Tito a little bit from his kids. Like I said, like TJ and Taj, they when they speak, they're so candid. Like not saying that they spill tea on their dad, but like they speak highly of him.
Yeah.
Um, he did a good job. Like just like Tori says, thank you, Tito Jackson. Thank you so much. Like anything that we could do to honor him and anybody who passed away, whether it's someone like Melanie or, we celebrate the fans too. We celebrate, Melanie has said a year ago, she said, every legacy matters. And I think when people
Yeah.
pass away in the community, or in this case, in actual Jackson, our job is to share the legacy in any way we can and tell the stories that we've experienced, whether it be from social media or in-person events. I don't know. Like, I know I'm going to be a little sad, but I think it's because I just never saw it coming at all. I was like, Tito, I was like, please let this be a hoax. Please let this. I was so taken aback. So, but I thank you, Tito, just for being kind and, I got you to smile once or twice. Tito be serious. I mean, I'm gonna smile. I'll keep wearing weird wigs and, things like that just, makes it special. Yeah. Yes, he will always be with us. And everybody always tell people, like, when you really love somebody, that they're not gone. They're a part of you. Like, honor them by moving forward. And again, take your time though. Like, I took my time when I needed to take my time, but it felt so good when you start making breakthroughs, child. I can't even tell you what a breakthrough. It just feels like a new lease on life. I have empathy like I've never had before. That's why I was like, give me a sec. I remember I was like, I don't know when I'm going to see y'all again, but I need a time out. And we kept pushing back this live because I was like, I just wasn't ready to talk at
Yeah.
all. I was like legitly sad. I was like, dang, Tito. So yes, long live Tito. 3 cheers for Papa T. Heck yeah. So we are going to do the outpouring with the family. Now, keep in mind, a lot of them are not on social media, and a lot of them chose not to post. I was surprised any of them post. In my family, I don't even tell y'all what's going on at all, because you have different layers of of death announcements. You got the actual family. Then, if you post it on social media, it's just so overwhelming. But they don't have a choice. They're Jacksons. It got out. I was shocked any of them posted. I was like, what? And I'm like, this is how you know this is a strong family. Like, I can't imagine how many people were just like with the comments and the texts and the phone calls. And in the meantime, this is your dad or your son or your sibling, and you got to deal with all this going on. So I guess we'll go back and forth reading some of the stuff they wrote. We've edited some of it out just in case people are like, well, then they said I'm not going to put the whole thing in here. But if you guys don't know, Taj is the oldest. And like I said, I feel so bad. Like first it was their mom and now this, and they're still relatively young. I guess because you can kick it off. I'm going to get the tablet just in case I can't see.
Okay. Did you want me to read it?
Go ahead. Yeah.
Okay. So Taj posted the picture with Tito, Didi, and Michael. And he said, I truly appreciate all the love and support I have received during this incredibly difficult time. I have been going through tons of voice messages, texts, and voicemail, and they all have helped me tremendously. What I admire most about my dad wasn't his musical talent, it was his genuine humbleness and humility. For all the legendary things he accomplished with his brothers, you never know it just by talking to him. Besides performing on stage, my dad loved to coach baseball, fish, and work on vintage cars. Everyone loved Tito, and in a way, it brings me comfort to know the world also shares in this sorrow and pain. It's a reminder of how great a loss we've all suffered. And oh my gosh.
Right?
Oh my goodness. Where's this? Wait, where is that from?
That's from that same post. There was another picture under it.
Well, it looks like it's from like a video or a show or something.
Probably.
Wow. But he said, all of your love lets me know I will survive this nightmare, but I would definitely need to lean on you from time to time and welcome your continued support.
From Tito Jackson, this is so hard. I don't understand why things happen the way they do. I just checked on you earlier in the day. You deserve so much more than these words. But in the best I can do right now, people are hurting, crying, and devastated. You were so loved. You touched so many people and impacted so many lives. You were strong, gentle, and kind with the warmest smile. Your laugh was genuine. Your heart was gold, down to earth. Yes, he was loving, easygoing, and just so cool. It's always been a goal to be on the stage with the Jacksons. But when anyone asks me about my experience, I would always say when I enjoy most is spending time with you. From the first show to the last, I was so proud and honored. Um I became I began to I'm sorry. I was so proud and honored. I'm sorry. I began to understand you more and appreciate all you have given to me, your family, and the world. I am thankful I had the opportunity to be with you and look over you. I'm so sorry, Pops. I wish I did better. Now you are gone with Mom and Uncle Michael, my three heroes, my three angels. I can't believe it. I miss you and I love you. You are an amazing father, and I'm so lucky and proud to be your son. Without you, this whole family's music thing wouldn't exist. Snap, snaps. You grabbed that guitar, broke that string, and the vision was born. You are a legend, Tito Jackson, the key that unlocked it all. Thank you for everything. Rest now, Papa T. I love you always. You almost made me cry. Arrow. All right. You got TJ.
TJ, who is the youngest of 3T, and he said, words can't express how much I already miss my father. It doesn't feel real. I know some think as a middle-aged man I'm not supposed to hurt this way, not supposed to hurt this way, but that just isn't the truth. Right now, this is crushing me. Losing a parent is extremely tough. Losing both in the way I have has given me an incredibly unwelcoming feeling and a paranoia that I will have to overcome. Specifically regarding my father, I'm trying to celebrate him or celebrate the many amazing experiences I've enjoyed with him, but truthfully, I can't stand knowing he isn't here. He has always exemplified strength, toughness, and poise. Simply put, he wasn't supposed to go this soon. It just goes to show we never know when it's our time. My father was worldwide known and celebrated for his artistry, but it is his humility that I always admired. He truly believed we needed to love one another and was a true pillar of strength and calmness in my life. Right now I am in so much pain, but like he showed me throughout his life, I will never give up and will make the best of this thing called life. I will get through this one day at a time. I love you, Pops, and will forever miss you. Your proud son, Tito Joe Jackson.
From his brother Jackie, who's also the oldest brother, um, and the second born. One of the best things about heaven is that we will be able to reunite with loved ones who have already passed on. It will be the greatest family reunion we've ever known with our loved ones, relatives, and ancestors all together in one place at the same time rejoicing. Rest in power, Papa T.
Mm-hmm. And the Jackson brothers wrote when this one is rough. Um, they said, we are beyond devastated and still in total shock that our dear brother Tito is no longer with us. He was always selfless, kind, laid back, cool, and always humble. He was loved wherever he went. Tito was such a loving brother and father, and he loved his family so much. Everything began for us when Tito broke that guitar string and the Jackson 5 were born. Just a few days ago, we were on stage together in Munich, Germany. We would never have dreamt that it would be our last time with him. We lived our lives on stage, and Tito was on stage till the end, spreading joy and love. He is now with our brother Michael, my brother Brandon, and our father. Our world will never be the same. He will always be forever in our hearts. We love you so much, Tito. Rest in peace. Jackie, Marlon, Jermaine, and Randy.
The final bow, 10th September 2024. We want to share this photo of our brother Tito from our final show, the Circus Krone, Munich, Germany. The venue was chosen as if it were as it were when we first performed in the city back in 1972. We stayed in Michael's favorite hotel, and just before the show, we spent time at the memorial to Michael. We performed on the 10th September, the exact same date as our final performance with Michael and Madison Square Garden 2021. We will always deeply miss you both. Wow.
And then the official Michael Jackson page said the passing of Michael's beloved brother Toriano Adaryll Jackson, known to the world as Tito, is an incalculable loss. Sorry, that's a word. Um, Wearing his trademark bowler hat, Tito played the guitar with fierceness, skill, and passion, even as a teenager when he burst into the music scene with the Jackson 5 and later with the Jackson. When Tito wasn't playing the countless hits he shared with his brothers, he loved to play the blues, always showing class and gentlemanly demeanor. Tito amassed numerous accolades over his career, including being inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame as a member of the Jackson 5. But his greatest pride was his family. While he will be missed by his fans across the world who loved him and his music, he is especially missed as a son, brother, and father to his three sons, TJ, Terrell, and Taj, and as a grandfather to his 9 grandchildren. Rest in peace, Tito.
Frances Jackson is TJ Jackson's wife, which is also Tito's daughter-in-law. And she writes, I will forever be grateful to you, Papa T, for raising such amazing boys. You were the most loving, humble, and strong father and are so loved by your grandchildren. Our hearts are broken and still in disbelief, but I promise you that we will all continue to keep your legacy alive and live in the beautiful memories that you created for us. Thank you, Papa T, for setting the most beautiful example of love and kindness. Uh, we love you so much. Sorry, got a little distracted. Mm.
Um, his niece, Brandy, who's Jackie's daughter, posted a picture of him playing the guitar, and she said, I have spent the last few days sick to my stomach, speechless, and struggling to process this new reality. The only thing that gives me peace is knowing that you're with God, your brother, and your father. I know that when they grabbed your hand as you transitioned, the first thing they said was, Job well done, Tito. You really were so loving, caring, and thoughtful. Your family is hurting immensely. It just doesn't feel real. We will continue to hold you up and love you like you're here because you are and will always be with us.
And the last one was the Prince. Love you forever, Papa T. The family was actually at this show recently, and just wanted to just share that picture. Again, most of the Jacksons were quiet for the obvious reason. They posted in their stories, but I've missed it. I literally just got fresh air that day. I was just like, what the? Um, and it's interesting, like when you lose someone that you care about or something you cherish, you're like in a grief bubble. Like I missed a lot of things that week. Like I was just
Mhm.
like, so I apologize if I missed any family members or if I missed any fans, because we do have a fan tribute at the end. Um, it's just Tori will tell you I was like legitly out of it. Like the only thing I did continue to work out for health reasons, but that was the only thing I did. Like I did all my other channels were shut down, like, and I really wasn't online like that. So I just started coming back. So I was like, just in case you're like, what about me? Sorry. Like I just wasn't online like that. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
so let me see. I guess we could do the fan. I think it's there is one more thing before the fan outpouring, because that's pretty much we have some in person and some online Tito events that we want to bring to your attention. Um, I can only speak for myself, and Tori and I spoke a little bit earlier. I'm always going to honor Tito's birthday for as long as I'm breathing.
Hmm.
I'm not sure if I'm going to celebrate death because that's, it's a little gray area there, but October 15th, I'm going to have my hat, either Applejack hat on or a bowler hat or something. Um, and just so for this year, we're having our first meetup. First on the 13th, we are having a watch party at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It is, for most people, not a work day that following Monday. So if you guys want to see the last interview with Tito, I haven't seen it yet. I would love to watch that with you guys. And that will be on Sunday the 13th again. Take this one over, Tori.
So on his birthday next Tuesday, we're gonna get Tito time to trend. Um, I would say use Tito time for any social media. I know I said initially like on Twitter, but honestly, put it everywhere because Tito time is all the time. So we're gonna get it to trend just like we did with hashtag thank you Tito Jackson. You can post your pictures with Tito using the hashtag. Talk about your favorite Tito songs, the music, your favorite memory, favorite pictures, just anything you want. This is going to be a celebratory day to remind the world of why, you know, his legacy is important and just how important he is. So feel free to participate in that. Anyone can participate in that. It's an online event. So let's get Tito trending.
AJ had a good suggestion. If you guys have any pictures with Tito or memory, I remember like Tori had put up the poster that she had signed by Tito. Some of you guys have records. I know I have records and CDs, whatever Tito items you have, or even like your favorite track from a Jackson thing. Just make sure you put Tito time for his birthday and definitely get it trending. And also for his birthday, I have an idea where this is going based on what you guys voted for, but we are having an online watch party. Either it's going to be Tito's music videos or lost footage. Now here's the awesome thing. Whatever doesn't win will be another separate post. Like just because his birthday's in October doesn't mean we're going to stop celebrating Tito in November. It's going to keep going. Michael, Tito, and just the Jacksons, like me and Tori, do our best to showcase all the Jacksons all the time. Now, does Tito get some extra love? Yes, because he went to heaven and he deserves it. But no matter what, and that makes our channels very unique. We celebrate them all when they do
Hmm.
something. Like, but of course, this is, for a minute, it's gonna be a little dark. I get this part. Um, this is like, I think this one feels more like Family Guy, maybe because I met him and 3 team members, and it's just different. I've met so many of the family members, and now they're starting to say my name. I'm like, hey, hi. But I've been around them for 15, 16 years. They were like, this girl's still around. Yes, I love you, but not in a creepy way. I just appreciate you. That's a better. I appreciate what you guys do, and I'll do whatever I can. Me, MJ Fangirl, Paige now has a Michael Jackson group. Um, of course, the Melanies, Michael Jackson fans in New York, they're still going. Like all this is all intertwined together for one big old ecosystem. So, and we love what we do, just getting the word out. So, vote, and we will probably have Tuesday. We'll probably have the celebration around 9ish. We'll keep you posted about the time. But like I said, I have an idea where this is going.
No.
last but not least, our first
Uh,
official Tito meetup.
Tito meetup. So on October 25th, I know that weekend a lot of fans will be in LA for the This Is Thriller Hill LA event. So I was like, why don't we do something for Tito while we're out there? You know, go to the Jackson Star, play his music, maybe share some memories or things that we love about Tito. So that is going to be happening Friday, October 25th, 8:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And the Jackson Star is on 1500 Vine Street. So it's not in the same area as Michael Star. I think it's near Janet Star. I think they're close to each other. But come out there, wear your Tito merch, your bowler hats, anything.
Yeah.
Um, bring, your favorite Tito memorabilia, things that, remind you of him. Like, he loved fishing, baseball, cars, vintage cars and stuff. So anything. Pictures.
Don't bring your original stuff. His stuff is rare in real life.
Yeah.
But if you want, you can print it out. You can print out a replica. Please do not bring your original stuff with you.
Or if you just want to bring something to show it and talk about it, that's fine too. You don't have to leave it there or anything like that.
Right. It's like, don't bring the real,
don't leave
don't get alive.
Yeah.
And we're gonna have some fun posts, very Tito related. Not this one. This is the more serious one, but thank you. We're Troy will tell you I was so nervous about doing this. I was like, I don't want to let Tito down. I really don't. And I think when someone treats you kindly, you want to treat them kindly in any way that you can. So, I used to always, whatever Tito had, I purchased it. Or, in this case, I just want to honor him. Oh God, this sucks. But it's like I was really nervous. This is the same feeling I got when I had to say goodbye to my own mom. I had all these knots in my stomach, and I'm like, I don't want to let my mommy down. It's so weird. The people are not here anymore, but you just still want to honor them in any way that you can.
Mm-hmm.
And I know you could relate. You were one of the first people to do a talking tribute for Tito with Station Head, and I'm like, oh my gosh.
That was rough. I want to say the day before making it, I was like, I don't know if I can do this, but I was like, nope.
Yes.
I have to for him. So pull this together, but this is not easy, y'all. Thank y'all for being here.
Right, especially this late. Thank you.
Yes, it's late. It's pretty late.
So we have this is pretty much the outro, but this is the love letters from you guys. The outpouring from the fans. So we're gonna play a clip. It's a news clip. We tried so bad to get to Gary.
Yes.
And I was just like, I can't sneak out of New York. But that's why we were like, we're gonna do something in Cali instead, because we're like, we can't get out. But shout out to all the people who went to Gary. Here's our clip for Tito Jackson's tribute.
Well, one of the founding members of the Jackson 5 has died. 70-year-old Tito Jackson passed away of a heart attack while driving from Oklahoma to New Mexico.
Those who love the Jacksons have been paying tribute at their home in Gary, Indiana, and that's where we find our Brona Tumulty.
They're one of the most famous families on the face of the planet.
And Tito Jackson, the swingin'est Jackson.
But life for the swingin'est Jackson began right here in Gary, in a little house now adorned with all sorts of tributes.
Kids used to come by here and say, oh, they not going nowhere. I said, okay. And look what we got out of that.
Robert Moore Jr. grew up on the next block.
Stuck with their craft. And that's what, hard work pays off.
And remembers the Jacksons well, defying all odds on the road to success.
They're a credit to the music industry as a whole. You know what I'm saying? Man, it's almost unbelievable.
Their music touched so many, from locals like Patsy Brown
to Tito,
swinging by with an appropriately named shot.
What a great
family. And what a great thing for Gary to be able to say we've got here, because they really do deserve a little bit of love for this.
To those who've come from further afield, like Demont Pinder from DC, forced to rearrange his suitcase last night.
Put some sneakers to the side, took out some extra clothing, and I made room for my canvas and paintbrushes and my easel.
He's an artist in the area for his anniversary. Today's news bringing a desire to create and to honor Tito in his own way.
I'm just using my small gift and, just trying to have some type of impact to whoever's watching, and hopefully I could serve as an inspiration to them. But the same way that the Jacksons gave me.
Telling us to be here on this day where it all started is extra special.
You're looking at a family that inspired the world. Yeah, not just myself, not just this community, but literally the world.
In Gary, Brona Tumulty, WGN News.
Tito Jackson was a month shy of his 71st birthday. His three sons made the announcement late last night on social media, saying their dad will be missed tremendously.
Oh, man. We were trying to get together. It was just not happening. So thank you, Tori, for setting up a memorial for Callie. That was so smart of you. You were like, wait, the fans are there.
Yeah, like, why don't we do something? Just play his music. People don't know his music and they walking by. We could tell them, like, hey, this is Tito. Like,
right.
I played two of Tito's solo songs for my dad a couple weeks ago, and he said, this is Tito?
Yes.
You sing this smooth? I'm like, yeah, you don't ever want to give him a chance.
So, all right. So some people are falling off literally. So let me just but we gave Tito a chance. And thank God we're going to keep his music going. When you guys get a moment, MJ Fangirl did a beautiful tribute to Tito. It's called Remembering Tito Jackson. And I'm glad she did that. It was, as always, great job. Make sure you follow. That's my homie. It's more than Michael Jackson. She covers the whole family as well.
Mm-hmm.
And the outpouring came from you guys. I saw all your pictures and when you met Tito. And again, if I missed anybody, I apologize. Like, this is what I got in real time. And Toy will tell you I've been working hard just for days trying to get my things to work. So if anything, we could do a part 2. So with that being said, thank you so much for sharing this grieving session with us. Like, we promise it won't be this somber all the time, but just knowing how serious this is, I didn't want to make light of this. I know his kids are hurting. Like, I really it's just a given. Like, to have no parents already, like, it's beyond sucky. And our prayers are with you and Mrs. Jackson and all the siblings and their friends and their nieces and nephews, just the family in general. We're truly sorry. And to the community, like, we're hurting. It's a different kind of hurt, but we a lot of us have empathy, and hopefully everybody be on their best behavior while they're grieving. So
remember, they are human.
Mm-hmm.
Give them the space, give them the respect. In general, be respectful, regardless. But it's rough. I'll tell you, reading those 4 names of the brothers left on that post, I was like, this is real. We just lost another brother. We only have 4 now. That's crazy.
All right. So this endings stream, it actually it's going to be like, it's a collection of all the stuff that we mainly got from Instagram that I was able to catch. So with that being said, we will be back in just a couple of days, and vote for what you want to do for his birthday, and we'll definitely talk. It'll be a little bit lighter, less sad. Well, we'll still be sad, but we'll try to keep a little lighter. And thanks again. And thank you, Tori, man. Like, you're the best. Because she'll tell you, like, behind the scene, I was like, no, I'm not ready. No, push it another week. Like, I was just not ready. So thank you for giving me grace just to get through it. Because y'all know I'm a crying baby, and I was trying not to cry this time. I was like, don't. But I needed time to process, you know? Mm-hmm. Thank you, Morgan. Yeah, I know, like, it's just a lot.
Yeah.
All right. Good night, everyone. See you in a couple of days. And thank you again for tuning in.
Thank you, Tito.
Thank you, Tito.
Feel your presence. Even though you're gone, I can still hear your heartbeat. Even though you're not home, there's not a day that passed that I don't think of you. I find myself up late at night, wondering what to do. I wish I could touch you. I wish I could feel you. I wish I could see you, but you're so far away. I wish I could hold you, tell you that I love you. Yes, I'm far away now. The only thing I could do is write a letter. Write a letter. Keep you deep inside my heart each and every day. I wish I could touch you. I wish I could see you, but you're so far away. I wish I could hold you. Hold you. I love you. You're so far away.
Tito, are you gonna stick with the group or what are you gonna do?
I'm gonna stick with my group as long as my group be here.